Hello favorites, how are you doing? I hope you're doing well. Once again, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, welcome, and my name is Gladys Yesa. On today's show, I have a guest with me here, and before she introduces herself, today's topic will be highlighting the challenges faced by teenagers and how they can navigate those challenges. So please introduce yourself.
Thank you so much, Lucky. My name is Wanjera Mary. They also call me Shyra. That's the name most of the people know. And I'm passionate about teenagers because, yeah, I was once a teenager, some years back, several maybe. But yeah, I've been involved in a ministry where we basically reach out to teenagers and just encouraging them in this life. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, that's so nice. So to begin with, Shyra will at least tell us the challenges that, because she has interacted with the teenagers so much. So I know, or I'm sure, she is really confident in that area. She'll tell us the challenges that she feels the teenagers face or are facing right now, and these challenges are not new. They are the challenges that even us faced before, but right now they are more elaborate because of social media and digital platforms that have really elaborated them. But they're the challenges that we faced even way back. So please, Shyra, take us through.
Just like Lucky said, there's nothing really new that we're going to mention here that maybe people have not heard about. But you see, every time we have new teenagers coming up, we have the youngsters who will now graduate to be teenagers, and the teenagers will become young professionals. I mean, young adults, and then young professionals thereafter. So because we have teenagers who keep coming, or rather growing, that's why we love to keep on talking about these things.
Okay, one of the main challenges that teenagers face currently or at the moment is cyberbullying. These teenagers have access to the internet, and when they go to the internet, they are faced with a lot of cyberbullying, people bullying them, maybe from how they look or from their physical appearance. So Shyra, what do you think about that?
That's a very, very critical issue you raised there about cyberbullying. And you know what, guys, internet is here to stay. If anything, it will just keep evolving with time. So what we need to do now, it's not really to discourage teenagers not to to use internet, because either way they will need the internet for schooling and things like that. But now the question is, how can they use it in a manageable way that it also doesn't affect them? It is unfortunate we have cases of teenagers who come online, probably they get cyberbullied. And when we are talking about cyberbullying, maybe for someone who may not understand, it's basically being harassed on the internet, on social media. And we talk about social media, we're talking about Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Yeah. There are so many of them, so many platforms, Snapchat, YouTube. Yeah. So, and I know you people, you have experienced a scenario where maybe somebody just puts up a post, and then people just, decide to insult them for whatever reason. And I want to imagine that your viewers are not part of the audience that really insult
bully others.
Bully others. And you see, unfortunately, guys, we all do not have the same, what can I say? We don't handle these things the same way. We are not all strong enough to handle this. So for some, you can just comment something negative, even jokingly, on their timeline, and that is enough to affect them for a lifetime. So what I really encourage people to do, and sometimes I feel so sad when I see people being, what can I say, abusing even these celebrities and people like that. And I feel so bad because you never know how the words you're saying, you never know how much they are going to affect this person. And when you do this to someone, they also have people they live with, they have their loved ones. So when it affects them, it also affects the people around them indirectly. So really, cyberbullying is something that has been happening, and it has damaged the self-esteem for so many young boys, young girls, even grown-ups. Imagine if say a 35-year-old can be affected by just words that a stranger said online. How about a teenager who is still not so exposed, doesn't know how to deal with the world yet? So I think cyberbullying is a responsibility of all of us. And especially those of us who are past the teenage age. Maybe what you can do is just lead by example. Before you write that abusive word there, by the way, guys, you don't always have to comment. You don't always, even silence speaks, you know. You can even comment to your friend offline, you know. You don't have to comment online. You don't have to be negative. Because what you're doing, you're damaging somebody's sister, somebody's daughter, maybe even somebody's mother, father, you know, and then you do know they will carry on those effects to the people around them. And before maybe you comment something on social media or on someone's post, ask yourself, is it necessary? Exactly. If it's not, just leave. And maybe that was on cyberbullying, but on maybe on how to for the teenagers to navigate safely on social media, parents also have a role to play. For parents, you need to at least know what your children or your teenagers are doing on social media. You need to get involved. What are they doing? What are they watching? What are they following? Who are they following? Please, parents, you have a role to play. You need to get involved with what your children are doing on social media, because you cannot rubbish like 100% that social media is bad. Social media is not 100% bad, but as parents, because you are the grown-up, you need to really get involved and know what your children are doing on social media. And in case maybe you notice your teenager, could be your daughter, your son, is probably affected, do not ignore. Do not ignore, because sometimes you might hear them mention, you know, mommy, daddy, somebody told me this on social media, somebody told me I have a big tummy, somebody told me, you know, just, and especially teenagers have a lot of issues to do with how they look physically. So do not ignore. So your role as a parent, your role as a guardian is really to speak positivity into them. Be the first one to appreciate the way they look. Just let them know that we have so many idlers online who, you know, just look out to play for places to let out their pain. To project. Because again, lucky, we must note that there are people are hurting out there, and the only outlet is social media, because it is a free space, you know. But then unfortunately, it's free but not a safe space. So I think just protecting them, and maybe and then maybe at times you can guide them to some of the pages, meaningful pages they can follow, maybe people of good influence, you know, just things like that. Like make sure, be the one helping them to filter what will affect them and what will not. And another challenge that teenagers face is let me say peer pressure. There's a lot of peer pressure, even it's not even in teenage alone, but because we are talking in perspective of teenagers, peer pressure is affecting a lot of teenagers. Like it's making, naweza ongea kwa Kiswahili, inafanya mtu anaacha kuwa yeye, like because she wants to fit what their friends are doing, she wants to fit in those standards, so itabidi ajibadilishe yeye. And with now the social media, it has, the peer pressure has actually now escalated in the sense, you just go online, you're following this celeb, you're just looking at how they, you know, they live their lives, and then you start comparing yourself with them, and you're like, oh my god. Or you're following these pages that have maybe say teenagers abroad, and you know, in abroad teenagers, what can I say, young people start having cars and driving as young as when they are teenagers, and now you're trying to compare yourself, and you're in two different contexts, you know. So that gives you a lot of pressure, and unnecessary pressure, or you start wearing very weird things just because social media made you believe that for you to trend, for you to be in fashion, for you to look like you're, you know, pleasing, appealing even to the opposite sex, that the social media has told you this is the way to look. It is very, very unfortunate, and that the teenagers really have a role to play for their responsible lives online. I think parents, you really have to go the extra mile, because these I'm talking about parents, older siblings, and the guardians as well. You have a role to play in the sense you're the ones who have gone ahead, you're wiser, you're able to lead them, you're able to help them and tell them no. In as much as you're seeing this celeb in this way, this is just social media life. But in reality, this may not be the case. And so you shouldn't measure your success based on other people who online, and especially now that we all have a destiny where we are headed, and we are not going the same place. So you have to do a lot of positive, you know, encouragement, positive impacting in their lives, and trying to undo any negativity they might have collected online.
Yeah. Another challenge, and maybe now that we have social media, is internet and online addiction. When you meet these teenagers, or when you
that's a new addiction actually.
When you interact with them, you will notice that they are so addicted into online or into internet until they are not living the real life.
Yes.
They are living in fantasy. They are living in a fantasy world. They are imagining things that are not real because they have seen them on the internet. So as parents or guardians, we need to encourage our children, or to limit online and internet time. Like you have as a parent, you have a role to play and restrict, like you are not supposed to be on the internet the whole day, the whole night. Some, they don't even sleep. At night you may think that your son or your daughter is sleeping, but ako tu kwa simu ama kama ni laptop. So as parents, you have a role to play. You need to restrict the time that your children spend on the internet, because it has a negative impact. Hata wewe kama mtu mkubwa ukishinda uko tu kwa internet, it means that you will not be productive on other things, because this is a lot of time that you're wasting. Not unless ni time una learn, because pia we understand that you can learn things on the internet. That one is very okay. But tu ya kuangalia vitu zenye hata hazisaidii, parents, you need to be vigilant and restrict the time that your children are spending on the internet.
Actually, Lucky, I think most parents who have teenagers, by now they've noticed this is the age around when they just want to be too close, you know, to just be behind doors. They just want to be in their bedrooms. They don't want to meet the family during dinner. They no longer want family time. They feel like you're eating into their time. While in real sense, they've locked up themselves just, you know, Googling things and chatting, and you know, and we are not saying that now they shouldn't use the internet at all. Like Lucky is saying, just, you know, just have some limitation. Just a balanced way of doing it, so that also they don't miss out on the family bonding time. Because unfortunately, again, internet is coming, and we've seen it separate families. People no longer sit down together to have dinner time and family time and all that. Everyone just wants to be on their own, on their phones, which is a bit dangerous.
I'll give an example, maybe just to drive the point home. I'll give an example of how the internet or TV affects small babies or children. You see, if it can have a bad influence on kids, what about the teenagers? If you give your children a lot of TV time, they watch a lot of cartoons like the whole day, you will realize that these children, they start to be withdrawn from people. They'll start feeling like their life depends on TV, so that hata ukiswitch off TV, wanaanza kuwa chaotic, wanaanza kuleta drama. If it can have effect on such a small kid, what about teenagers? So as parents, let's not think that when we give our children the tablets, the phones, we are making them, yani nisemaje, wakuwe the modern children. As much as we want our children to grow up the modern way, but let's have limitation. Another thing that I would want us to talk about is what is it? Teen suicide. Like in the recent, we've realized that from the data that we see on television, we've realized that the number of teenage suicide has gone up. I don't know what might be the problem.
I think the same case we are talking about here. You see, Lucky, these issues, or rather these challenges, are somewhat interrelated.
Yeah.
Because the same teenager who will go online and get cyberbullied, and then maybe they don't have a way of dealing with it, probably they don't have a parent there paying attention, or a guardian or a friend. Now what that does to them, it starts eating them from inside. And the next thing you know, they hate themselves. They actually believe things they have been told. And probably, maybe, okay, unfortunately, at home, maybe they also have abusive parents. So you see, for such a teenager, he or she has been rejected by the world. At family, there is chaos.
Yeah.
So now, what is left for such a person? They just commit suicide, which is very sad.
Which is very sad.
Because they feel worthless. They feel like no one is accepting them. No one loves them. I mean,
or no one is listening to them.
No one is listening to them.
Okay, maybe to add something. Maybe what I can add is the number of teenage suicide maybe has gone up because we have they face a lot of challenge. Maybe mtu anafeel amefanya mistake. Then anajaribu kuangalia maybe vile society imeweka inakaa, this is a very grave mistake, unforgivable.
They feel judged.
Yeah, unforgivable. So what next? No one will listen to me. They will instead judge me.
Yeah.
So let me just commit suicide, which is very sad. Let's not end up in that direction. For teenagers, I'm speaking to you right now. If you feel that things are not okay, and it's okay not to be okay. It's very much okay not to be okay. If you feel you're not okay, you can unaweza ambia mtu mwenye una feel safe naye, kama ni mzazi wako ama kama ni your guardian, speak. Don't die in silence, because you'll realize that you are not alone. You are not alone. What the society needs, inataka tu wewe open up. Useme, ukue tu vulnerable. It's okay to be vulnerable, it's okay to be weak, and there's nothing like kushai speak out. Yeah, it even shows that you are very courageous, like to just be vulnerable na uweke mashida zako kwa meza na useme this is what I'm going through. So please don't die in silence. If kuna kitu una feel hapa si feel vizuri, you can talk to kuna psychologists. Yeah, you can speak to professionals. They'll work with you through the journey. You are not alone in this world. Yeah. And
maybe just to mention Lucky, because we are talking about teenagers, I imagine most of them by now they are either in their upper primary, high school. Maybe when you tell them to talk to a psychologist, they may not know where to start. And probably for psychologists, for most of them, you need maybe to pay. Teenagers don't have money to pay. So maybe where to start is just that one person that you feel comfortable with. And by the way, that person doesn't have to be your mom, doesn't have to be your dad, or even your sibling. It can be just maybe another member of family that you feel, maybe an auntie that you feel you're able to open up to more, or an uncle, or just a teacher in school. Could be a teacher in school, and I believe there are counseling services in schools. Please learn to speak out, like Lucky is saying. And by the way, Lucky, let me tell you an observation I've made. For most of the schools, high schools, we have visited with my team, just holding these workshops and trying to talk to teenagers. One of the observation I've made is that when most of the students who come on the side, you know, that who want to see you on the side, 90% of them, they will tell you the issues they are suffering from and the things that are making them feel like committing suicide. It's not even about related to the other peer students in school. It's issues to do with where they are coming from. Either they have abusive parents who drink too much and then, you know, they just cause chaos, parents who separated and so they were left in the middle, they don't know, do I follow daddy, do I go to mommy? So again, parents, this is a place where you also come in. Just know that when you're having this chaos, if possible, because it is unpractical for us to start telling you now that you can't have issues as parents, please try and leave your children out of your issues,
out
of the mess, because these things are affecting them. A child goes to school, but in class they cannot concentrate. They're just thinking about how mommy was beaten, how dad was abusing mommy, how mommy was, I don't know, doing what to daddy. And these things really eat them up a lot. So it's not even just the issues of peer pressure, really. But parents, you have a role to play. And so for the teenagers, what we can't emphasize enough that you need to speak out. Yeah, so my dear teenagers, just remember that you should not die whatsoever because somebody told you anything. You know, you're going to kill yourself because somebody did, I don't know what to you. You will go and leave them enjoying life. You need to enjoy this life. You have a whole life ahead of you. You're only a teenager, honestly. So just speak out. And speaking out is not a sign of weakness, especially the boys. I know the girls are used to speaking out, but the boys, let no one make you feel like it's a weakness to speak out.
It's not.
You need to.
Okay, maybe to add something, Shyra had said that maybe these teenagers need to open up to older people, to adults, maybe their family members. But as much as you're opening up, you should be very careful. Don't open up or don't be vulnerable to a stranger, because this someone may mislead you. And maybe because these children may start being vulnerable to strangers, there is a problem with their parents. Mbona,
right from home.
Right from home. Mbona huyu mtoto asifeel comfortable kuongea na mama yake ama baba yake ama auntie yake. Mbona aende aongee na strangers. So parents or guardians, please be friendly with your children. Because this way you will at least know what is eating them up. You will at least know what they are going through. Please, when you are listening to them, don't be too harsh. Don't be judgmental. Because when you start judging them, next time when they have a problem, they will not open up to you. They'll feel like, every time I have a problem, when I go to mommy ananijudge, ananigombanisha, ananiongelesha in harsh tones. Please listen to them. As much as pengine as a parent, it's very difficult, but at that time your child is opening up to you, listen. Don't judge. Just give guidance.
Listen and get involved in their lives. Understand what makes them happy. By the way, they also have their hobbies. They have what they love to do at their free time. Respect their time also. Respect their opinions. These are grown-ups. In as much as they are still teenagers, at least they now understand. They are not really babies. Understand them. They have their opinions at that particular age. Make them feel that you respect them and you actually acknowledge that they also have a word to say. It's not all the time that whatever they say you have to go by it, but before even, don't listen with the intention of responding and judging them harshly, but listen to them with the intention of understanding them. And then now guide them from a point of understanding. And then now you end up becoming friends.
Then maybe as we go on, I want us to talk about teenage pregnancy. Teenage pregnancy has been on the rise lately. I don't know what's adding to that.
I can say a lot of factors contribute. I'm a journalist and I've covered a few stories about teenage pregnancies, and they get to actually give you stories of how it all happened. And I can say for some it's just the peer pressure thing in school. Oh, I also want to have a boyfriend, and then they also say, so for you to have fun with your boyfriend, these are the things you do, you know. And then you also understand their body is growing biologically, so they also now just respond to how their bodies are feeling. Now that is just some of them. For others, it's actually needy cases. Like in the slums, I know of quite a number who ended up being pregnant for men who promised to take care of their needs. Maybe somebody, a teenager is living with a sickly mother, the dad is nowhere to be seen, and then this man just comes and promises, you know what, you do this with me, I'm going to help mommy to pay rent, I'm going to buy sanitary towels for you, I'm going to pay your school fees. and they end up trading sex for money. And it's very unfortunate that these men, of course, they're just taking advantage, so they just take off the moment the girl is pregnant, and so they just take off and the girl is left there stranded. So that's another reason why. For others, they are rape cases, and it's very sad to mention that some are even raped by their own fathers, relatives. Very
they end up
unfortunate cases.
being pregnant.
They end up being pregnant. Some will even give up on education. They feel like marriage is a shortcut to life, and so because their parents, maybe they don't even have, you know, anything to do with the kids.
Yeah.
Just everyone is on their own, and so they feel like there's this one man who said I love you, and for the first time they felt accepted, and then they're like, why don't I just, you know, go ahead and move in with this man? But the man, of course, the moment the girl is pregnant again, she's abandoned. So we have so many reasons why we are having teenage pregnancies, and it is very, very unfortunate.
It's very unfortunate that maybe older people, adults, take advantage of teenagers because that's sex without consent. Because this is a child, as much as ni teenager, hana hiyo nini ya make decision like now I want to have sex. When I was researching on that topic, I didn't think in that line because having sex with a teenager, that should be a crime.
It is a crime.
It is a crime because this is a young child. Hana hiyo mind ya kusema yes or no.
Yeah.
So as an adult, if you are out there na wewe tu na target teenagers to have sex with them, that is very wrong, and that is a very big offense. And maybe to add something, parents need to maybe love these teenagers more and give them assurance. What these teenagers want me, affirmation.
Affirmation, yes.
If it's a girl, if you have a daughter, keep affirming them they're beautiful, keep affirming them you love them, in that wakikutana na mtu,
be the first person to make them know that they are beautiful, they are loved and all that.
So if they meet someone, it won't be
a strange thing.
Because they're used to being told that at home. So please, as parents and guardians, be affirming them. And boys, they are not even exceptional, because we have all cases that maybe older women, they are molesting boys or they are targeting young boys. So as parents also, for those who have sons, affirm your sons that they are handsome, they are the best the way they are, so that was if seek nini from other people.
Sure.
Yeah,
so teenagers, maybe what we can encourage you to do is just, like we said, so long as you have someone you can talk to, if you suspect that someone is making some advances, like they want to have sex with you, just feel free to talk about it. Tell someone that, hey, I don't like the way Fulani or someone, my relative, teacher, whoever it is, I don't like the way they handle me. I don't like the direction they are taking. If you suspect, kindly talk to someone. And you have the right to face someone and tell them, no, I don't like the way you touch me. I don't like the way you talk to me, the way you're looking at me. This is about your life, you know. And you're the only one who can earn the respect for yourself. And I know now there is that thing of having sex for fun in school and the whole gist thing of having boyfriends. There is nothing wrong with relating with the opposite sex. But the problem is the things you do while together. You girls and boys, you have dreams. You want to become big things in this country and in the entire world. You want to become doctors, you want to become lawyers, whatever, all the careers that you want to become. But you see, there is a mistake you can make right now, and your dream is dead. Because I'll tell you what, bringing up a child is not an easy thing. It's not easy. Even adults of our ages, sometimes they struggle. Imagine you, a teenager, you're still being fed by your parents. You don't even know the price of a diaper, do you? Do you even know what a diaper is?
They don't.
So clearly, you don't want to go down that road. And your parents have done so much to put you in school. So really, you cannot afford to disappoint them. Really, the best you can do is go to school, be responsible, do what you're supposed to do, and there is a time for everything.
Yeah.
A time for everything. A time for marriage will come. A time to have babies will come.
Yeah.
When you're old enough and responsible and stable enough to handle a family.
Yeah.
Don't be in a hurry. Yeah, so let's just be responsible.
Okay. Okay, and maybe to add something for the teenagers, like having sex for fun, it's just fun at that time. But in the long run, maybe the outcome, the aftermath may not be fun.
Yeah.
Like kuna pregnancy, but pia kuna ugonjwa.
Yes.
Is it abstain or is it use protection? If it's a must.
Just abstain. Simple. I wish abstinence can come first.
Yeah, it should.
Imagine how peaceful it is to sleep knowing you don't have to worry about what if I miss my period.
Yeah.
What if my girlfriend is pregnant?
What if I've been infected?
What if I've been infected? I mean,
Yeah.
why do you want to put yourself through all that? Yeah, you can just choose to be happy and have some freedom.
Yeah.
Really. And then let me be biased towards girls at this point, because I talk a lot to girls. There's an illustration I like to give. You know, you all know about avocados. They are very common and loved in Kenya. When you go to the market buying an avocado, what do? Or even maybe, I don't know, whatever other fruit that you need to feel to know whether it is ripe before you buy. I love avocados, so let me talk about avocados. Avocado, before I buy an avocado, I have to, like, what is it called? Kufinya, to know whether it is ripe or not. Imagine you, as a girl, you are like, okay, sorry, I'm not calling you an avocado, but get the point. Yeah? You are like that avocado in the market, so you are there available, looking all pretty and appealing and all that. And then now we have the buyers coming. Now we're talking about the boys, the men who come. Imagine being this avocado that everyone just comes and finyas, they're like, haijaiva, wanaacha. Mwingine anafinya, haijaiva. What will happen to that avocado by evening? It will be too finywad until
not even appealing.
It's not appealing. Like, would you buy such?
No.
So those are the avocados that they throw away as waste, because it's too pressed. It looks like maji. It's disgusting. Now imagine you, when you allow boy A, boy B, boy everyone to come sleeping with you and living. Now that is how you look. By the time you're getting to evening, when it's your age to get married, you've been finywad. You are a very pathetic avocado. No one really wants to buy you. No one wants to have you, to take you home. That's exactly how it looks like. So, girls and boys, respect yourselves, respect other people,
and respect your bodies as well. And maybe what I can say, maybe there is no enough platform whereby parents or guardians talk about sex with their children. This is a topic that sijui sasa inaachiwa nani, kwa sababu wewe kama mzazi usipoongelesha mtoto wako about sex, it's not a must that akuwe ako sexually active. It's a topic that they need to know, hata kama hayuko sexually
just
active,
so that they don't live in ignorance.
Exactly. But sasa parents sijui wanaachia walimu, na walimu pia maybe wanaachia wazazi, so mtoto ana end up hajaongeleshwa.
Walimu wanafunza biology.
Exactly. So please, parents, you have a role to play. Like, you are the one who is supposed to educate them. It's not a must huyu mtoto akuwe sexually active, but this topic about sex, it's very very
enlighten them. Enlighten them so that even when anyone is trying to make advances, they will not be ignorant. They will be able to discern and know, hey, the way he's looking at me, the way he's touching me, the gifts he's buying to me, And we are not saying now we live in a world of just being curious and anxious and all that, but I know you know what I mean. Like, I remember when I was in primary, I think I was in class 5, class 6, thereabout. There's this man just in the neighborhood. One time it was raining and we were going home. And then, the way you just stand somewhere to take shelter because it is raining. Then this guy comes And you know, it is later when I was an adult that I connected the dots and understood what he was about to do. Thank God it didn't happen. But I remember this man, he started by telling me, ebu inua nguo kidogo tu, nataka kuona kama nini, kama akoka kitu umevaa ndani kakona cartoon. You know, like me as a kid, yeah, it happened to me. And still in another scenario, we were just playing as kids. I have to give this example because these are very innocent things that happen even to your kids in the house, and you have no idea. The way you just like play around hapo nje with your neighbors, kids, nini, and this shamba boy just comes and he's like, ati, wacha nikutoe kadudu hapa ndani, and you know he's lifting my dress and actually putting his fingers inside and but you see, that time I couldn't understand what is happening because I was too young. Only later in life, when now I'm fully grown, is when I understand, wait a minute, that was going to be a rape case. But it didn't happen, I thank God. So don't be ignorant. Just talk to your teenagers about these things. They need to understand. Not that they get scared, but just
they need to be aware.
And if you feel you don't have the wisdom of breaking it down to them, get someone. Get somebody, maybe their teens teacher in church, or I don't know, just get somebody, just do something, you know. Maybe another very serious issue that we cannot ignore. It is happening, it is eating up our teenagers. This issue of substance abuse. And you know, gone are the days when, you know, taking bangi used to be a big deal. Nowadays, you'll just meet some team of youngsters and they're just, you know, doing bangi and they are not really worried. It has been normalized in such a way that it has been, it's now even been packaged in ways you can't even imagine. So you enter a room, you find some youngsters taking some cookies, and if you're not keen, you might end up joining them. Only to find out these cookies are actually bangi you're taking. I know the issue of cookies and even the way these two things, I'd tried to do some research about them. There's these others they call the lifts. Is it the lift or something? Even the way it's packaged is in such a way that it's so appealing that you can innocently find that cartoon in your house on the table and never even find out what that is. I'm not telling parents to be scared, but what I can tell you is that when your child gets to teenagehood, this is the time for you to be very alert. Very alert. Anything can communicate to you something. If you find like a strange something in the house, don't just assume it's just anything. Seek to find out. Seek to, of course, not in a way that you won't make now again your children to feel like you're really spying on them, but use your wisdom to find out, could this be something new that I'm not aware about? I know we even have nowadays, we have especially these teenagers who have access to land, wale wako huko ushago. Unapata mtoto alipanda bangi kwa shamba yao, wazazi hawana idea, parents have no idea. Those things are happening. So teenagers, be very, very what is it called? Be very keen when you go to these parties that you people go. You know, these are places where some of you start using bangi without your knowledge. Because you're innocently served cookies. I mean, who would have an issue with cookies?
No one.
You're given like something that looks like just like an appealing sweet. So you're told, you know, this is just a sweet. Just be very keen, because again, it's a slow fade. That's what I can say. You won't say that you're just doing this, it's just one path, it's just one, you know, what can I say, it's just one cookie. It's addiction is a slow fade. Just like pornography,
or any kind of
any
addiction.
other addiction, like even the internet that we have talked about. No one knows they are getting addicted. Actually, by the way, that addiction of internet almost got into me. You see, I'm a person who works online a lot. I do a lot of stuff online. And even the things I do even at my workplace. I'm a lecturer, I lecture. units to do with social media and all that. So you can imagine I have to know so much about online. But it got to a point where I realized, wait a minute, this is no longer just the normal way of doing it, but I'm actually sliding into an addiction. Because I'm those people, you would realize we are somewhere seated, we are doing something important, but I'll keep on peeping on my phone, checking, what is that new app, how is it used? Well, sometimes it could be even you're there so many hours doing something constructive, but then the fact that you're overdoing it, it's already addiction.
Yeah.
So it is a slow fade, and you need to know when to stop. So teenagers, going back to what kind of friends do you have? Because sometimes you embarrass your parents. Maybe that's not the way they brought you up, but you go to school, you join funny groups, funny circles, funny cliques, and then you start sharing these things because you want to feel that you fit in. You start using them. You might do them away from your parents. You might even go drink and get drunk and your parents never find out. But you see, your parents are already living their lives. They already cut out their lives. They are living their lives. This is your life. You won't be a teenager forever. One fact about life is that we will all get older. At any point we will keep getting older. So you're not going to be a teenager forever. Tomorrow you'll be the one seated here telling us what we are saying, and you don't have to come and give us painful experiences of what you went through, what mistakes you did, and then, you know, sometimes learn from other people's mistakes. So be very careful, don't be ignorant. If you see something looking fishy, if you go to a party and you're offered a juice or some drink that you're not very sure about, you have a right to say that, you know, just give me a glass of water. I don't think I want to take this.
And maybe to add on something, there is something called FOMO, fear of missing out. These young people, they don't want to miss out. So they don't care if this thing is good or bad. They just want to, yani pia hawa waonekane wanafanya. Like,
and let me just cut you short a little bit, because I remembered something. When I was in high school, I remember for us, because we were not now exposed to the things most of them are exposed to right now. For us, the gist thing we knew is talking about soap operas. So there was this thing of every time when we reopened school from home, if you didn't you know, follow a certain soap opera, you would feel left out, because everyone is busy giving an analysis of how, who did what, who was left, who was loving who, then, you know. Now that's the gist nowadays. So when you reopen school, I know you want to talk about a new drug you tried and how you felt high, and you're thinking it's a very good thing you are explaining, or you want to say how many girls you are able to touch over there, and you think it's making you a hero. My friend, you're just tarnishing your image, you're just messing up with your respect, and basically you're just messing up with your destiny. So you have everything to lose, your parent has nothing to lose. It's all about you.
And there is nothing like missing out, like do the right thing. You know what is right, do the right thing.
Even when no one is doing it.
Exactly. It doesn't matter what other people are doing. As long as what you're doing is right, do the right thing. Keep doing it. Usiangalie like, hawa wanafanya nini, wacha pia mimi nifanye. Like, so that's the major thing that these teenagers are facing. They want to fit in.
And they don't want to miss out.
Kabisa. And maybe to add something on drugs and substance abuse, at that time of you are taking those drugs, it might be inaweza kaa kitu nzuri, but in the long run, just know it will deal negatively with your health.
There is the health implications.
Kabisa. Utaanza kuwa mgonjwa. There is something called liver cirrhosis, you know that. So look at the long term.
So you're exposing yourself to too much danger at such a young age.
So please avoid as much as you can, avoid drugs and substance abuse for your health reasons, kwa sababu hata hazitakusaidia. Say no to drugs. Hata kama utaitwa, nasikia ukisay no unaitwa mshamba, ama how do they say it, like like nowadays they've normalized drugs mpaka wewe kama haukuni
drugs and sex.
Yeah, unakaa sasa wewe hey, you're outdated because you're not doing it. Hata afadhali wa kuita outdated, but please stick to doing the right thing. Yeah,
Sure.
Maybe please, Shyra, you give us a parting shot as we wind up.
Wow. Like we started by saying, this topic about teenagers, honestly, it will be talked about over and over and over again, because tomorrow there will be new teenagers, we will graduate to young adults, and later to young professionals like Lucky and I here. So just be responsible. The best thing you can do to yourself right now is respect yourself, respect your body, respect your destiny, because you have a dream, you have a plan of your life, of where you're going. Again, another thing I can't emphasize enough, learn to ask for help.
Yeah.
Ask for help. Anytime you feel like you're not sure, ask for help. Anytime you feel threatened. And Lucky said, it's okay not to be okay. You will not always be okay. But then what do you do about it? That is what that makes the difference.
Yeah.
Have someone that you can talk to. And it doesn't have to be one person all the time. In whatever season, whoever you feel free with, take advantage of the counseling departments in your various schools, because there are those services there. Go and tell someone, hey, I am depressed. My parents are stressing me at home. I don't like the way my mom talks to me. I don't like the way my dad shouts to me at me when he's drunk. I don't like, the other day sorry, let me just give this illustration as I finish. I was talking to a young cousin of mine. Not a cousin, sorry, a nephew. Very young boy. You wouldn't even think he knows some of these things. And I remember him telling me, you know, my sister told me, now the sister is older. My sister told me she wants to buy her own house. The sister is a teenager. He's just like a small boy, I think around 6-7 years. She wants to buy her own house, and I asked him why. She's saying she wants to move out because when dad is drunk, he likes to shout at her a lot. Imagine, such a young boy, he already knows what is going on. And by the time this girl is talking about buying a house and moving out, trust you me, if this girl goes out there and finds a man with that big house she's fantasizing about, and just tells her, you know, I love you, you accept me, this house becomes yours. I mean, and before we know it, the girl is gone, she's pregnant, she's abused.
Leave your number.
Yeah, so you can reach me through, you can WhatsApp me, I prefer WhatsApp, 0707 749 430. 0707 749 430. Chat. Okay,
if you have any issue or if you would like to talk to someone, Shyra is here. She does it willingly and pro bono, but you can give her something small. It's okay. Please, you are not alone. You are not alone in this world, because you know, pia saa zingine you might feel nitaongea na nani, but please, we have people who are willing to talk to you, who are willing to mentor you, who are willing to work with you. So feel free, if you feel like you have something to talk to, you can talk to Shyra. As we wind up, please, for parents, I talk so much about parents because I don't know, because I'm one.
Oh yeah, that's why.
Yeah, so for parents, don't fear, if you feel like maybe your kid is not doing right or is going astray, don't fear to guide them, to give them guidance. Like, if kama wewe ni mzazi na una feel, for me, drug is a no. Tell them, show them.
Yeah.
Like my dad will not entertain drugs.
Be the example.
Yeah, be the example, and don't fear to tell them. Just tell them, ai mimi drugs hapana na, like waambie tu, mimi singependa utumie drugs. Mimi singependa uanze kuengage in sex at a young age. Tell them, tell how you feel about these things. Kwa sababu ukinyamaza tu, maybe they would think that my dad would entertain it. So as parents, don't fear to show the way. Yeah, as much as we are guiding them, but guide them in a very loving way. No judgments.
Reason with them.
Reason with them. Talk with them. Yeah. So ni hivyo tu, sijui kama nitaongezea kitu. Please
subscribe if you haven't already, and see you in the next video. Bye.
You can